everyone, and welcome to another episode of One Pittsfield with Mayor Marchetti. In just a few moments, I'll be joined by Amy Marshall, who is the owner of Berkshire Fitness and Wellness in our downtown. But first, I have a few updates to share with you since our last show. First, we'll start with all the meetings that I attended or hosted over the last couple weeks. I attended the BRTA Advisory Board meeting as we were interviewing candidates to be the new administrator of the BRTA. More details will be released in the next few weeks regarding who that person will be. And just as kind of aside, the mayor has a seat on the BRT Advisory Board. I can either choose to serve or ask someone to serve it in my place. We started a new quarterly meeting at the request of Lisa Torrey, the RSVP director, with the folks at RSVP so that they can ask mayor questions, and we'll begin to do that on a quarterly basis. I attended the Energy Transformation Advisory Board meeting. This board was established to help guide the Office of Energy Transformation to help us deliver equitable and affordable, sustainable energy. So we have a peaker plant here in Pittsfield, and so I was tapped to be on that board to be able to give Pittsfield's insight. Held one of the quarterly meetings of our downtown business owners and stakeholders at Wander. I'm looking forward to the second week coming up in a couple weeks, which I believe is the 30th. But check out Facebook to be sure. I attended the Community and Economic Development Committee meeting to respond on a petition from Councilors Cavey and Lampiazzi regarding the current occupancy levels of commercial spaces in our downtown and the city's strategy to recruit, retain, and support local businesses. And so what we found out is that we have about 20 vacant storefronts of about 115. We have some work to do there, but what we also found is that we had 25 new businesses open since the beginning of 2024. So we can clearly see that our vacancy rates are on a decline at the current moment. And of course, anyone that knows anything about running a small business is a very difficult concept, and sometimes it's harder for these businesses to stay afloat. And we'll talk to Amy in a few minutes about some of those things. I attended a training for Mass Emergency Management Association with several city staff members. Trainings like these are important to be sure that we have all of our policies and protocols in place. If there is a natural disaster, who's responsible for what, and what process do we go? I also participated in many community events over the last couple of weeks, starting with the Sheriff's Annual Picnic, the 30th anniversary of Jimmy's Ride and their after party, the Berkshire United Way campaign kickoff and celebration. I attended the grand opening of Ollie's that is located at the former Big Lots location on Dalton Avenue. We were invited to share some remarks on September 11th regarding the Iraq-Afghanistan Remembrance Ceremony at Veterans Memorial Park on South Street. On the same day, I got to spend some time with the Rotary Club, providing them with some recent updates of where we are in the city, and we talked about housing creation, we talked about job creation, and some of the other city initiatives that are coming forward. I participated in the inaugural Into the Light Walk and Day of Remembrance at Burbank Park. We participated in the Revel and Recovery event that took place in downtown Pittsfield. We participated in the Elizabeth Freeman Center Rise Together Walk. We spent some time with Berkshire Harm Reduction, visiting with some of the folks in a peer recovery group to truly understand what issues or barriers they have and how the city could be helpful in getting them into housing or to helping them get any kind of assistance they need. We presented the Suicide Awareness Proclamation as part of the Berkshire County Out of Darkness Walk to fight suicide, and attended the Berkshire County Gold Star Family Memorial event in Lenox. And we have 3 acknowledgements for businesses. First, Pittsfield Health Food Center in North Street celebrated their 60th anniversary, and the Solarium had a grand opening on September 19th in the same space that was formerly known as the Plant Connector. Just as a reminder, if your business or organization has a special milestone, we want to be able to recognize you. And unfortunately, I don't know everything. So if you don't share the information with us about your special event, we can't help share it with you. But it's my desire to celebrate all small businesses and to be able to make folks aware of events that are happening that are important to our community. So let's quickly touch on the City Council agenda for September 23rd. One of the orders is a prior year expense from the building maintenance department for $194.26. Some of the staff will provide an overview of the new city website. And so our Chief Information Officer and our Director of Administrative Services will run through the new website and just give a high-level review of the website and how things change and where you can find the information that you always want to go to. So if you're like me, the agenda piece was really easy to go find. It's changed somewhat, so it takes a little bit more, but that's why we're going to give you a little bit of insight of how to go and where to find those stuff. There are a couple of reports coming back from committees. The first is a request that I put forth for $500,000 of the Pittsfield Economic Development monies to go to a company called Jane's America, Inc. They are a company that is headquartered in India, and they have some locations across the United States, and one of them is in Chicopee. They are looking to expand, and they are in the process of purchasing the old Conti Archive building out on Dan Fox Drive, and they'll be bringing their second production line here to Pittsfield. That initially over 2 years will provide us with 31 jobs of varying types of skills and salaries. And if all goes well, we have the opportunity to have them completely move their operations to Pittsfield, so that could be in upwards of 100 jobs as we go forward. Also have a request for $200,000 in the G Economic Development Fund for Elegant Stitches. Elegant Stitches is purchasing a manufacturing building so that they can have more space to do all their product design. They have really grown in their online sales piece, and so the little cramped in space that they have on First Street isn't going to work. So they're going to move all of their operations for production to Downing Industrial Parkway and keep the storefront for sales. They will double in size of employees and also take on another building. We also made a presentation, and we kind of alluded to it a little bit ago, on a petition regarding the occupancy rates and the level of commercial spaces. And so that will be back before City Council for everyone to hear and see. There are several petitions from councilors, and Councilor Warren wanted us to provide a status of the opioid settlement money, which we are bringing forward, and also he wanted to place a condition on the acceptance of funds to be used exclusively for homeless issues related to opiate addiction. These revenues that we're getting from these lawsuits are go into a special revenue fund that the mayor has sole authority to be able to decide what to do with them. As I told them in the very beginning when I became mayor and we first got our first piece of the settlement, it's my opportunity to decide where, but I will always collaborate with the city council and have conversations with the city council and not just act as a dictator. So although they can't condition the money, I will work with them in order to make that happen. There were several petitions from Councilor Cavey and Lampiazzi, and we already talked about one about vacancy rates. They want us to develop and implement a comprehensive housing plan. We will provide them with a housing plan that's already developed. We don't need to go develop something, we already have one. And so we'll be sharing that with them. They want the city to look at developing a designated emergency safe camping plan for unhoused individuals. I don't believe, from the research that I've done, that setting up camps or encampments in any city works. And I think if you look at Burlington, Vermont, you can see how it really hasn't worked. I don't want to follow in footsteps of other folks. And again, let's go back to the housing plan. There's 112 units of housing coming on board between now and the end of the year or the beginning of 2026. And then another 140 something units coming on by the end of 2027. So the city has a pretty aggressive plan on housing and working and that stuff. And the last petition from them was to establish a downtown sanitation and hygiene program. And we have responded to them as well. But we're weeks away from the first opening in downtown Pittsfield that will be providing showers and shared kitchens and phone stations and a whole mess of stuff for homeless. So I think it would be prudent for us to wait until that's fully established, open and running, see what impact it has, and then explore other options. So I don't think it makes sense to be putting 3 different options out at once and not knowing really which one is working. So we're going to sit tight on that. There was also a similar petition from Councilors Noda, Warren, and Costa about a comprehensive itemized inventory of all our vacant properties and storefronts in downtown. They were also looking for a little bit of these buildings, how long have they been vacant, and also is the city helping any of these vacancies with any kind of programs? And so that will also be there. So that kind of gives you a wrap up of where I've been, where I'm going, and what's going to happen at the council meeting on Tuesday night. now I'm going to turn our conversations to Amy. She is the owner of Berkshire Fitness and Wellness. I almost went wellness and fitness.
It's okay.
I almost changed it on you. And so the business is located in downtown Pittsfield. I've actually spent one day here. She tortured me. It was terrible. Actually, it was actually great. I wish I had more time to be able to sneak over during the daytime. The stretching actually was great. So for folks that don't know you, how about you give a little bit of update about who you are and lead me into how you seem to continue to grow in this space, because you have quite a few units in this space. So let folks know who you are.
Okay, well, my name is Amy Marshall. I own Berkshire Fitness and Wellness Center here at 137 North Street. We have been here 8 years. My background comes from a master's in health and sports sciences, National Academy of Sports Medicine personal training, American Council of Exercise group exercise certification. We offer 54 cutting-edge fitness classes here a week of different varieties. We have a full fitness center, state-of-the-art fitness equipment. We have a separate Pilates studio that has all the Pilates apparatus. We also are an official spinning studio, which is in the building or the room next to us, and we have a boot camp center in the basement. So we started 8 years ago in one room that was 600 square feet, and 8 years later, we're up to about 3,200 square
And
feet.
as we kind of said before I went on, I go off script, and when I arrived here this morning, you took me in to introduce me to one of your clients who is 93 years old. So you service a
wide range of ailments, concerns, fitness levels. So here at Berkshire Fitness and Wellness Center, we like to say, no matter what shape you are in, we have something for you, because we are a facility for everybody.
So I guess two questions. What separates you from other gyms? Because this doesn't look like a Planet Fitness, right? Mm-hmm. So what sets you apart from other entities? And then also, what classes do you specialize in the most?
Great. So here, what separates us from other studios and fitness centers is our membership benefits. To start, we have accessible parking. We have free towels, free water, free coffee. There's no hidden fees to come to Berkshire Fitness and Wellness. All the classes, the 54 classes we offer a week that are on the schedule, are included with your membership. Do not have to sign up prior. You do not have to cancel within a certain period of time. It is our staff and myself that bring a lot of experience and education. We have air conditioning that works really well. And accessibility is what we have here. We are a community at Berkshire Fitness and Wellness Center. We're family. We support each other. We help each other. We take part in fundraisers and helping out nonprofits as much as we can. So we are definitely a community. And things that I specialize in is Parkinson's, orthopedic issues, osteoporosis, respiratory fitness. We do cardio drumming, something that's called Rumble, which is kickboxing with weapons. And obviously spinning.
She's got weapons.
Spinning, TRX, something called Ripped. The hottest class on the schedule right now is called Surge Fitness, Surge Fit, Surge Hybrid, and Surge Strength. We are the only place in Massachusetts, Albany, Vermont area that offers this training here. And it's a great fun class, high intensity, workout if you want it. There's modifications for every person that walks in the door with whatever they're taking care of. And it's great for metabolism, burning fat, and it's fun. And what about Berkshire Fitness and Wellness Center? Fun.
Fun. I'm not sure anything about working out is fun, but I'll take your word for it. So your business, we mentioned before, is located right here in downtown Pittsfield.
Yes.
What's your favorite part of being in downtown Pittsfield?
The accessibility. We are very accessible for people coming from Vermont, New York, North County, South County. smack dab in the center of Pittsfield.
And I'm glad you alluded to ample parking, because we hear all the time that there's no parking in downtown Pittsfield. And I'm not sure how we don't get that message out there, because I travel North Street often, many parking spaces just right out on the street that are vacant. And then there's 4 parking lots in the vicinity that can assist folks.
I never hear complaints about parking. They always say that there's plenty of parking. It's accessible to get
No
front,
kiosk
back.
complaints?
No, you get a free half hour of parking, plus they use the app, which
Okay.
is much easier to use sometimes than the kiosk, depending on who you are and what your ability is to use those.
The app is great, because
Yes.
you can be running to your meeting that you're running late to and be putting your time on your app.
And if you want to stay for a second class, all you have to do is add time to your app.
Correct. So we talked about being in downtown. What would you like to see happen in the downtown in the years ahead?
I would like to see more density, and I'd like to see a vibrant economy. It's happening. It's coming. Just across the hall, we have a Caribbean restaurant coming in. So things are happening on North Street, and it's great to see. Just like to see more of it.
So I think as our housing completes in some of the downtown, we're adding more people. We are working with a company who is looking to relocate into the downtown. Again, more bodies at least during the day. And that's our focus. And one of the pieces that I keep trying to look at, if I remember the number correctly, there's 179,000 people that go to Beacon Cinema on a yearly basis. How do we get those folks to just take a stroll in the downtown or do the restaurants? And I think the one thing that the downtown has already succeeded in is restaurants. There's close to 24 restaurants from Park Square to Linden Street. So I think that we have them there.
And I do think that all businesses support one another. So the collaboration that occurs with downtown businesses, even if you're not downtown, businesses are still collaborating. And just to go back a bit about, I'm an author of Tai Chi Fit and Qigong Fit, and we offer Tai Chi and Qigong here, which is amazing for somebody just to walk off the street or coming from the Beacon to come in and take a Tai Chi or Qigong class. But I think everybody's very supportive of each other.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and I will say, since being mayor, having my downtown business meetings, the tenor and tone of those meetings has changed tremendously. From the very first one I had in January 2024, there are now more conversations, and we are a small city with challenges, and we all share the same frustrations. But I feel that between my office and all of the business community, we're in it together, and we're not one side versus the other, and I appreciate that. And so I just kind of, there's a fallacy out there that the mayor doesn't pay attention to small businesses, and not that it's a bad thing, but you email my office or me directly often when there are things that you want to point out. And it's not, I want to be very clear, it's not just always to complain, right? You send me constructive criticism, or you send me some ideas of, hey, have you thought about this? Yeah. What do you think the response is from the mayor's office when you either email or sometimes you catch me on Facebook, but how do you feel we are in terms of responding to folks?
Well, I like to think I'm the fastest person to respond to you via text, Facebook, or email, but you're right up there with me. You're very, very quick on responding. I don't have to look for you. I don't have to nail you down. You get back to me.
And I said from the beginning of the term, communication is the biggest piece. You can make or break who you are just by communication. And so I had to throw that in there because, we've had the conversation about that I'm anti-small business, or at least that we see that. And I can at least point to one small business that doesn't feel that way. And I know there's many more. So one last business question, then I want to do a little bit of personal thing because I think it's fun. And I also think, this has got to be about community, and you talked about community. As a downtown business owner, what information would you share with someone who wants to open a new business in the downtown?
Well, I always look at the 4 Ps. We have to have patience. You have to have patience, persistence, and at the end of the day, it's the people.
That's great.
And if you want to throw in another P of permitting, I do have to say that when I opened my business, the permitting was the easiest part of opening my business.
I love to hear that. I don't always hear that. And again, I think some of it is communication. And over the last 24 months, there is a book that talks about if you want to open a business in Pittsfield, here's your checklist. And we continue to look at that and improve. But if someone walks in and says, hey, I want to open a business, you can't just go, here's the package, right? You need to spend some time and have conversations with them. So I think I first learned who Amy Marshall was 4 or so years ago at First United Methodist Church during the Mummers concert. And didn't really know you, but you kept coming back to this same scenario. Talk to me about the Mummers, and now how many costumes do you have? And what about the Mummers brings you there? And I've seen the videos on 4th of July that you're in their costume dancing with them on North Street.
Yes.
Talk to me about that piece and why.
Okay, so how long has the 4th of July parade been along? A long time.
A long time.
Okay. So my sister was born on the 4th of July, so my mother watched the parade from BMC. But the most important part is my grandmother loved the Mummers. She lived for the Mummers, and we had to go to the parade to see the Mummers. So then when they started having the concerts at the Methodist Church, so first time I went, and they were looking for volunteers. Now I almost took out the whole pew when it was time to volunteer. So they chose me, and then we had to go down, get dressed, and that's pretty much all I wrote. Then the following year, I went, and they didn't want to give me a costume because they already won one. But they had absolutely no volunteers. So they had to let me volunteer again. So that was my second costume. And then the third costume this year, I keep in touch with them through Messenger, and we talked about getting another costume. And they love it when you go out there and dance with them. They like the group participation.
They are crowd pleasers, and
Yes.
they want to kind of, well, now that all makes sense. I've never asked that question. And again, I think
Well, I
it's
have
important to-
3. So if you like to join me some 4th of July and dance with the
Well,
Mummers,
maybe I can
have
now,
one.
right? I can walk back when it's done. So before we close the show, I keep saying you're in downtown,
Yes.
but we haven't really provided them a location. So if folks are interested in seeing what this is all about, how do they get in touch with you? What are the hours? How can they participate?
Excellent. So we are here at 137 North Street in Pittsfield, Mass., the corner of Depot and North. You can reach out via email, alktigger@gmail.com. My phone number is 413-885-1633. The website is bfwstudio.com. Obviously, personal Facebook, business Facebook, Instagram. We do offer free 1-week trials to come down and check us out and see if everything we spoke about follows through.
Unfortunately, these shows go by really quickly,
Yes.
but I want to thank you for joining me and both selling the message about your business, but also the greater community. And I think that it's important to get that out there, and I've been working hard to create that better community.
Yes.
Folks, thanks for joining. We will see you again in a couple weeks, just before the first meeting of the City Council in October. I keep promising, and I'm pretty sure that we'll get there. We do have 3 more economic development proposals coming forward for companies that may move to Pittsfield or expand in Pittsfield, and so we're aggressively working our agenda. So until next time, be well.